Good morning, friends. We are learning our subject data mining 3160714. And in that, we are learning module 4, that is classification and prediction. In last lecture, we have seen the numerical example wherein we have trained the neural network. Then after what we were checking whether it is giving the correct output for all the known input, right? If not, we have changed the bias, right? Or you can say we have changed actually the weights of each input, not only of bias, but each input, right? So, yeah. With this adaptation of the weight vector, right? I guess you recalled everything. Fine. So let us proceed further. Now we want to know about multi-layer perceptron. Why should we know multi-layer perceptron? See, in the previous lecture, we have seen that when the problem, or you can say that when the classes are linearly separable, then we can use the single layer perceptron model. But what if it is not possible to solve the problem using single layer perceptron? We have to use the multi-layer perceptron. The example we have seen, that was of XOR problem, right? Here it is not possible to divide the classes using linear separable model, right? So what we say that is not possible to use the single layer perceptron. So now we want to use the multi-layer perceptron. Fine. Okay. So now let's see about that. Multi-layer perceptrons are applied to solve some difficult problems. This consists of input layer, one or more hidden layer, and an output layer. Now, till now we were talking of that in neural network, we are having input layer, output layer, and hidden layer. Till now we have seen the input and output layers, but we haven't seen the hidden layer. And why it is called a hidden layer? Isn't it something like others? Let's see that. There is a layer of input nodes, there is a layer of output nodes, and one or more intermediate layers, right? The interior layers are called the hidden layers. This is known to us, but why? Because they are not directly observable from the system's inputs and outputs, right? They are not directly observable from the inputs and outputs of our system. And that is why people say it as hidden layers, right? The training of the network is done by highly popular algorithm known as the error backpropagation algorithm. See, till now what we have seen is we are giving the input, it is going with the weight and inputs to the summer, then after activation function is applied, and then after we are getting the output. Fine. Now what we want is whenever the error is there, what is the error? That is the difference between the desired output and the actual output, right? Till now what we have seen in that we were correcting the what? We were correcting the weights, right? Here what we have to do is we are having the network in that we will propagate the error in back direction. See, forward direction is where we have seen the path, inputs are there, weights are there, summary is there, activation function is there, output is there. That is the forward direction. Now, whatever is error, that will be back propagate. In the reverse direction, it will be given, and the weights are getting the adjust, right? Okay, so that's what we want to know, or you can say that is the back propagation algorithm. Fine. Okay. Basically, there are two passes through the different layers of the network. One is forward pass and second is the backward pass, right? Forward pass means you can say left to right direction we are going, and the backward direction, that means from right to left we are going. Fine. Now, feed forward back propagation. The feed forward back propagation algorithm was developed in early 1970s by several independent sources. Okay. Back propagation architecture is the most popular model for complex multi-layered networks. Its greatest strength is in non-linear solutions to ill-defined problems, right? Non-linear solutions, not linear solutions, right? Non-linear solutions. For that, we are using the feed-forward backpropagation architecture, right? That is the uh, first pass we consider is the feed-forward, and second pass we consider is the backpropagation, right? The typical backpropagation network has an input layer, an output layer, and at least one hidden layer. There is no theoretical limit on the number of hidden layers, but typically there are just one or two. And when we study for many complex problems also, typically maximum two layers are being used for back propagation network, right? Some studies have shown that the total number of layers needed to solve the problems of any complexity is 5. 5 means one input layer, 3 hidden layers, and output layers, right? Typically, see, typically means in most of the cases, it is, that is, hidden layers are one or two. But, but, but in complex problems, people have used the 3 hidden layers, right? Each layer is fully connected to the succeeding layer. Fully connected means all the nodes are connected, right? To each and every of the, right? Each and every node of the other layer, right? So what do we say? The training process normally uses some variant of the delta rule, which starts with the calculated difference between the actual outputs and the desired outputs. Using this error, connection weights are increased in the proportion to the error times, which are a scaling factor for global accuracy. The most complex part of this algorithm is determining which input contributed the most to an incorrect output and how must the input be modified to the correct error. To solve the problem, training inputs are applied to the input layer of the network and desired outputs are compared at the output layer. During the learning process, a forward sweep is made through the network and the output of each element is computed by the layer, right? The difference between the output of the final layer and the desired output is back propagated to the previous layers, usually modified by the derivative of the transfer function. The connection weights are normally adjusted using the delta rule. This process proceeds for the previous layers until the input layer is reached. So, let's see the back propagation algorithm. What is that? Step 1 is calculate the local gradients delta O1, delta O2, delta H1 and delta H2 for the nodes in the network. What does that mean? It means the error. What is the error? Whatever is the difference between the actual output and the desired output, right? So that's what we need to propagate, and that we need to find at each and every layer. That is, we can set output layer. What is the correction? Say output 1 and output 2 is here for this particular figure. So we are considering delta O1 and delta O2. Delta H1 at the hidden layer, that is here, and delta H2, that is here. Now see, what we have considered in this is we are having input, say bias B1, X1, X2 and bias B2. Fine. Now weight 1, that is W11, weight 2, that is W22. As I told you that they are fully connected, right? Fully connected means this one to this, it is connected. I mean to input X1 to N1, input X1 to N2. To both the nodes of hidden layer, it is connected, fully connected, right? So X1 to N1, X1 to N2, it is there. Now for X2 also, the connection is there with N1 and connection is there with N2, right? Both the way it is there, okay? Then after we can say that we are having the N3 and N4, right? We are having the N3 and N4. Now here what is that? That is here also B3 is there. The weight, that is W31 is there. Then after what do we say is for N4 what we are having is we are having the W41. Okay, we are having the W41. Fine. And what else? And we are having the W42, which is going to N4, and W32, which is going to the N3. Fine. See, direct weight, this is what? W31. And W32 is coming from the N2 to N3, right? N2 to N3. Same way here also, when we are saying that from N2 to N4 it is there, it is the W42. And when the weight is coming from N1 to N4, that means it is W41, right? Okay. And what is the desired output? That is, we can say at Y3 it is desired output is D3, and at Y4 desired output is D4, right? So hope you understood the figure at least, right? So then after we can represent the things here, and then after we can calculate accordingly, like, right? Okay, so N1 and 2 are the nodes at the hidden layer, right? One more hidden layer is that where you can say, output is there where we have considered only one hidden layer, right? So at N3, that is at the output layer, what we say is the N3 and N4 nodes are there, right? Okay, so now what we can say about what should be there for delta H1, delta H2, delta O1 and delta O2. So for that, what is the activation function given to us? That is phi V is equal to 1 upon 1 plus exp of minus V, right? Exponential we used to say, fine. Phi dash V, that is the derivative of it, that is equal to phi V into 1 minus phi V, right? Phi dash V is equal to phi of V into 1 minus phi V, right? So now let us consider delta O1. What is that? Okay, delta O1 is phi dash of V. Okay, what do we say about that? 1 into B3. Why? What we want to consider is here delta O1, right? Delta O1 at this point we want to have whatever is going as the input, right? B3, we can see that plus Y1 into W3 1 plus Y2 which is coming out of this and into this W32. These two are getting applied here, right? Whatever is the input to this figure, that's what we are considering. We know that the summer and activation function is there, right? So for that we can say phi dash of this value, that is what is, we can say 1 into B3. Again showing you, just check it out. This red circle is there, ellipse is there. 1 into B3, Y1 into W3 1, and from here Y2 into W3 2. That is coming to the N3 where we are having the correction, that is delta O1. Fine. Now is it only the thing? No, we are having the equation, that is where we are having the phi dash V into what? The actual output. Okay, so what do we say is D3 minus Y3, right? D3 minus Y3. That is the correction we have to apply, right? That is the correction we need to apply. Okay, so phi dash V into whatever actual correction is there, right? Same way, what will be giving for delta O2? That is same way, phi dash into 1, that is equal to delta O2, that is equal to phi dash of 1 into B4. Now what we have to do is we have to check at this N4, right? So for that we can say that this is what is, yeah, 1 into B4. Let me show you. 1 into B4. Then from here, what is coming is Y1 into W41. This is the line for W41, right? Then after we can say that the output of this is Y2. Y2 into the weight is W42. Here it is there, right? Y2 into W42. Okay. And what is into? That is D4 minus Y4, right? That is the correction which we want to do. Or you can say the difference, right? Okay. Now, same thing we have to find at delta H1 and delta H2. So, what we'll be doing is delta H1, that is equal to phi dash of what? Delta H1 is here, right? So what do we say is 1 into B1 plus X1 into W1 1 and X2 into W1 2, right? Whatever inputs are going to this N1 node, at that time we have considered 1 into B1, then we can say X1 into W1 1 and X2 into W1 2, right? Now what? Into what we have to consider is delta O1 into W31. Delta O1 into W31 plus delta O2 into W42, right? That will give us the final output. Same way we can say that for delta H2, that is phi dash of 1 into B2, where it is 1 into B2, that is for second node we are considering, okay? Then X2 into W22, yeah, here it is. Let me show you this term so you can understand in the sequence only. X1, where is X1? This one, X1 into W21, which is coming to this node, fine? Then after X2 into W22, right? X2 into W22. Then after we can say what is that? What is coming to this particular node? So that's what we have to consider. That is, we can say delta O1, delta O1, then we can say into W32, delta O1 into W32 plus delta O2 into W42, right? W42 is there and this delta is there. Here we can say W31 is there and delta is there, right? So the way we have taken the delta H1, same way we are taking the delta H2, fine? So this is the figure for us, right? Now, adjust the weights of the network by learning rule. What is that? That is Wn plus 1 is equal to Wn plus alpha into Wn minus 1 plus eta into delta n multiplied by y. So we need to apply that. Okay. So what we will do is, according to that, we'll be having all these equations. That is W31 n plus 1. That will be W31 n plus alpha W31 n minus 1 plus eta delta O1 into Y1, right? So this way we are having the weights and biases for all the W31, 41, W32, 42, W11, 21, W12, W22, B3, B4, B1, B2, right? For all of them, we apply the learning rule. That is, we adjust the weights of the network, right? Let us take the example so it will be clear to you, fine? Let us perform complete forward and backward sweep of the feed forward network. What do we say? Is 2 to 1. What is 2 to 1? 2 input layers, 2 hidden layers and 1 output layer. 2 to 1 architecture means 2 input layers, this X1 and X2, 2 hidden layers, that is neuron 1 and neuron 2, and dash 1, that means one output layer is there. Fine? Okay. So for this figure, the data is given, and now we want to perform complete forward and backward sweep. Okay. So let us understand the figure. What is that? For bias, we can say what is given. Plus 1 is the fixed input, right? For that, what is the weight? That is 0.1. For x1, the input is 0.1. Weight is W11 is equal to zero point 0.2 negative. X2 is 0.9. W22 is 0.3. Fixed bias B2 is plus 1. And its weight is 0.1, right? As we know that it is fully connected, right? So from x1 to neuron 1 is there, and x1 to neuron 2 is there input from both from inputs. Say from one input, it is connected to both the neurons. Same way for this x2 also, the same thing is there. What we want to say is from input to hidden layer, they are the fully connected network. Right? They are the fully connected network. Okay. Now what is given? W12, right? W12 is what? That is 0.1. Right? And what is W21? That is, we can say negative 0.1. Right? W31 is 0.2 and W32 is 0.3. Okay, you can recall the previous figure, right? You can understand this is what W21, fine. This is W21, this is W12. Okay, fine. You can say what is W21, what is W212. You can see this is what W21, right? Where it is reaching. That is going to node 2. To node 2, that means it is starting with 2, and from where it is coming, that is from the 1. Same way here, it reaches to node 1. So we will consider it as W1, and from which node it is coming, that is 2. Right? So the same thing we follow here. Fine. We are given the weights. Fine. Okay. So now what else is given to us? That is target output is zero point 0.9. Target output is desired output. Fine. Then eta is equal to 0.25. That is the learning parameter, right? Alpha is equal to 0.0001. And here also assume that the activation function in all three neurons are sigmoid functions, and which is given by phi of v is equal to 1 upon 1 plus exp of minus v. Fine. Now, what we need to consider? We need to consider the V1, that is the output at neuron 1, and which is coming here, right? Okay. Then after Y1 is the output from the neuron 1. Y2 is the output from the neuron 2. V2 is the output from here. And we can say that final output is Y3. Okay. So equations are already known to us. We need to apply it and we need to find the values. Okay. You may not remember everything. See, you need to see the figure and apply the things. And for verification, when you are learning the example, I mean, when you calculate and learn yourself, at that time, you can verify with the example, the equations, whatever we have already seen, right? See, We have seen the equations here are there, right? We need to see from here. Okay, so you can learn it. Then after you need to apply that to this figure. Okay, it's not difficult, but take care of drawing each and every line, each and every path, that is from input to neuron to output, right? Input, then hidden layer, and then to the output, right? Whatever are the arrows you make it properly. Then after you can do it very easily. It is not at all difficult. Okay, fine. So now, what is the case? V1. Where is V1? V1 is here, right? So what will be the 1 into V1, then x1 into W11, then x2 into W12, and what else? X1 into W11, right? This one, this two, and this three, right? All three, we know that Wi, Xi, we need to consider. Fine, so whatever are the weights, that's what we need to put, and whatever is the input, that's what we have to give here, and that will be our V1, right? Wi, Xi, we used to say, fine, okay. So that's what we are applying here, 1 into zero point 0.1 plus zero point 0.1 into negative zero point 0.2 plus zero point 0.9 into zero point 0.1, right? So that's coming 0.17. What is that? That is V1, right? V1, which is the input to the neuron 1. Okay. Now what? Now Y1. Y1 is here, right? Y1 is here. For that, we can say that phi of V1. Phi of V1 is phi of 0.17, which we got from here. That is equal to 1 upon 1 plus exp of negative 0.17, and that is coming to be 0.542, right? Now, what? V2? V2 is equal to 1 into B2, whatever is coming to this, right? 1 into B2. Then after, what this is, which is coming to this, X1 into W2, 1, right? Then after, what do we say is X2 into W2, 2. Fine. So that is equal to apply whatever are the values, and we will say that we are getting 0.36. Right. Then Y2, it is after applying the activation function. So phi of V2, that is equal to phi of 0.36, that is equal to 1 upon 1 plus exp of negative 0.36, that is equal to 0.589. Same way we'll find V3 and Y3. So therefore, E is equal to D3 minus Y3. What is the case here? Now we do not have to consider this Y1 and Y2 for finding what? The error. What is the error? That error is found at what? At the output layer. That is the difference between the desired output and the actual output. Fine. So that is the 0.9. 0.9 is D3. Target output was that. Fine. Okay. Then what is the actual output? Actual output is coming as 0.619, and so we are taking the difference, and that is 0.281. That is the error which needs to be propagated back, and the weights are to be adjusted. Right? Everywhere the changes will be there. That is what we say is delta O1. Here we can say with yellow color delta O1, then delta H1 and delta H2. Fine. So this way we have to specify the corrections. Okay. Now, Here we need to give what? V1. What is that? V1 is 0.17, V2 is 0.36, right? V3 is 0.485. Then we can say that what is error? That is 0.281. Then Y1. Y1 is 0.542. We can see here, right? Then Y2. Y1 is 0.542. Y2 is 0.589. Then Y3. Y3 is what? 0.619, right? So that's what we have put here. Now, the figure is that whatever was there before, the same figure is here. Fine. Now, what to do? Delta O1. We are having the equations, right? Delta O1. What was there? Should we have to consider according to what we have learned while we have learned that theory? Should we consider that? No, we should not consider that. Why? Because there we were having the two outputs. Here we are having only one output, right? So ma'am, how to get the equation? See, you only have to consider delta O1 is what? Delta O1 is, you can say, phi dash of V3, phi dash of V3, which is coming here, right? Phi dash of V3 into D3 minus Y3. From the figure only we have to understand, okay? No need to worry. In that example, this was there. Should I need to mug it up? No, you do not need to mug it up. You only have to understand it properly. Figure is there. Very simple things are there, isn't it? The way it is getting the input, you need to consider. Fine? Okay. So, phi dash of V3 into D3 minus V3. Okay, sorry, Y3, not V3, Y3. Okay, so what do we say is that phi dash of this 0.4851, it is this one, right? Okay, phi 1, four digits we are considering after the decimal point, right? See, if we want to consider, yeah, one thing I should say is have the same consistency, okay? If you are taking the four digits after the decimal point, take that. If you are taking the two digits after the decimal, preferably, if you are taking the four digits after the decimal point, it is preferred. Okay. Here also, I have taken this three digits, but then considering four, yes, this you should take care. If you are taking three only here, take three only over here, but preferred if you are taking the four digits after the decimal. Okay, so you can consider that way. Fine. So we calculate the delta O1, this one, delta H1 and delta H2. You can say previous when we have learned the theory, at that time delta O1, delta O2 was there. Here we are not calculating. It is because here we are having only one output, right? Final output is only one. We are not having two output, right? In the theory example, what we have considered, that we were having the two outputs, right? So we need to consider this, okay? So consider delta O1, delta H1 and delta H2. Very simple equation is that phi dash of V3 into D3 minus Y3. Phi dash of V1 into delta O1 multiplied by W31, right? And phi dash of V2 into delta O1 into W32, right? This is only we have to apply and find the values, okay? Now, adjust the weights. Okay, now we have listed out what is delta O1, what is delta H1, what is delta H2, and what is Y1, Y2. Okay, Y1, Y2 was 0.452 and 0.589. Okay, same thing we have written here. See, It is better to use this way only. I mean to say that the figure, and with that, whatever things are required that I have put in the same way you should write in your exam paper. Okay, so follow the same thing which is there in the PPT. Okay, fine. So here the target was there, eta and alpha, all the things are there. Fine. Okay, now adjust the weights of the network using the learning rule. What is the learning rule? That is, we have already seen that was Wn plus 1, that is equal to Wn, current weight, plus alpha multiplied by W into n minus 1, that is the previous one, plus eta into delta n multiplied by y, right? So this is what we need to consider for the learning rule. So we need to apply it to each and every W, that is the weights, fine. So what do we do is W31, W31, that is equal to at third level we consider, right? W31 n plus 1, that is equal to W31 of current time plus alpha into W31 n minus 1 into eta delta O1 of n multiplied by Y1. Okay. So now what do we do is, this is point 2, W31. Where is W31 is point 2, right? What is alpha? Alpha is already given, that is 0.0001. Then after we can say that what next is that? That is W31 of n minus 1. That was 0.2 plus what is that? Eta. Eta is 0.25. Then after, what is that? Delta O1. Delta O1 was 0.0663. So that's what we are applying. Multiply by Y1. What is Y1? Is 0.542. So that's what we have applied and found W31. We need to find the W32. Where is W32? That is this one. Okay. So what is that? That is, we can say, just now it is 0.3. So we'll apply it at 0.3 and find the next level of W32, right? So that comes out to be 0.3098. Now, all the things, whatever we are having like this, that also we need to put and then after draw the figure and proceed further. Let us perform a complete forward and backward sweep of the feed-forward network 2-to-1 architecture. How? Let's see. This was there, right? Now, what is the case? Yeah, okay. Uh, the same thing I have shown you. These are the steps, right? What we have seen. This was the error we have found. Then after what we have done, that was the V1, V2, V3, Y1, Y2 and error. All the things we have found, right? Then after we have adjusted the weights. Then after what we do, we find the values, right? Here we find the values. Okay. Then after learning rule we have applied. Fine. For what? Is it only for W weights? No, it is for bias also. Okay. So for bias also we adjust the weights. Okay. Using the same equation which we were having before. We find V3, V1, right? We find V3 and V1. Where it is? This is V1, this is V2 and this is V3, right? Okay, so we need to find V1, V2, V3. Okay, now what? Now we are having the updated biases and weights. With that, we are representing the figure. So we can say what is B1 updated, what is W11 updated, what is W12 updated, what is W21 updated, what is W22 updated, what is B2 updated, what is B3 updated, what is W31 updated, what is W32 updated using the equation that was this one, that is Wn plus 1 is equal to Wn plus alpha into Wn minus 1 plus eta into Wn multiplied by y, right? With that, we represent this figure, okay? Now what? Now we'll consider, say, what is V1? What is now V1, right? We'll consider what is Y1, what is V2, what is Y2, what is V3, what is Y3, right? And what is error, fine? So you can say that we found each and everything. What was before, what is now? What was before, what is now? What was before, what is now? Right? So this is what we are doing, and we can say error is say 0.2746. What is that? It is D3 minus Y3, right? It is D3 minus Y3, and we'll be getting the result, right? That is the error. Now, till what time you will do this? Say after second pass, third pass, fourth pass, 100 pass, 200 pass, 500 passes, right? Each time the error is getting reduced. You can see that 2683, 2623, 2565. It is getting reduced, okay? After each and every pass, the error is getting reduced. So, till what time we should run this neural network? What is it is forward and backward passes, right? So how many times we do this? It is decided based on, say, how many passes we want to have, right? We can say that, say, 500 passes we have decided for our neural network, or otherwise you can say that you have decided the threshold that your error should be something like it should be less than this, it should be greater than this, whatever value you are saying. Suppose I want to have that error should not be more than 0.001, right? So I need to consider it more times. If I have decided only 500 passes should be there, then after this, it will stop, right? So what you want, whether number of passes are only important, okay, this many times if we run, then fine. Sometimes you want to have the application wherein you want no passes, you may take more time, but error should be not more than say 0.001 or whatever is given or whatever is required for your application. The way you decide that whether the time is important or minimization of error is important. So based on that application, you can choose the number of passes or otherwise the error threshold value. Fine. Okay. Each time when you run it, the error is getting reduced, right? So that's all for today.